Oh, we got a lot of ground to cover here on this Thursday night, and we'll start here with our top story at 9. An OU Tulsa surgeon just returning from a 2-week aid mission in Ukraine. And tonight, he is sharing his experience. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Brian Dorman.
And I'm Shannon Brousseau. News on 6's Grant Stevens spoke with him earlier today to find out a little bit more about the mission. Grant?
Brian, Shannon, Dr. Robert Lim went to Ukraine with the Global Surgical and Medical Support Group, who made it their mission to help the wounded and teach thousands of Ukrainians basic battlefield care.
Robert Lim spent 23 years in the military as a surgeon with 6 tours in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria.
So it's almost like, why shouldn't I do it? If you have the skill set and you can do it, then maybe you ought to do something.
He's been a part of the GSMG for years and made arrangements to travel to Ukraine at the start of the war.
We saw thousands, just thousands and thousands of people. We were crossing around 11 o'clock at night, with bags, their children in their hand, whatever they could carry, just walking to get across to escape.
He says one of the toughest things to see was the crowds at the Polish border.
It was very, very sad. It was tough to watch that.
While many have fled war-torn Ukraine, Lim met many more who have stayed to fight.
What really surprised me was just the will of the Ukrainian people. The willingness to learn, the willingness to do anything to help their country was palpable.
Lim and his team taught thousands of Ukrainians combat casualty care, who in turn will share the knowledge with thousands more.
I met a dancer at one of the classes that we gave, and she was like, well, I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay and fight, and I don't want to pick up a weapon. She wanted to learn first aid so that she could help people who were hurt.
Would you go again?
Oh, I would go again. Maybe a tougher sell for my wife and for my work at that point, but if there's, if there's things to do, yeah.
Dr. Lim says a second group of GSMSG volunteers is in western Ukraine right now, treating wounds and teaching. Grant Stevens, Oklahoma's own News on 6.